Are you aware that we have the video from the store
Yes,
during
ma'am.
Can you help me understand, because we don't have audio, but I see two ladies, one to be you, that came behind the counter of the store where the clerk is standing, and there's a lot of, looks like, animated conversation going on. So what was going on? Can you explain to me what happened that day?
Okay, and we are about to watch a parole revocation hearing out of the state of Louisiana for a woman who had served 5 years in prison for similar type of crimes, and now, while on parole, arrested and accused of stealing. And she is at the risk of her parole getting revoked. And the parole board, they have the footage. Let's see what will happen. In other states like New York or San Francisco, I doubt she'd even be in this situation. But Louisiana, they take these things a bit more seriously. So, with that, let's jump in.
Good morning. We are in Baton Rouge at the Department of Corrections headquarters, and we'll be conducting a parole revocation hearing this morning on Miss Nany Williams, who is at Bill Platt Detention Center. Miss Williams, is that you I'm looking at? Okay, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. You got it, Ed? Okay, she got.
We can hear you now. And we're at Bill Platt Detention Center. Is there anybody in the staff there in your room with you?
Yes, sir.
Would you introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Miss Nany Williams.
Okay. Would staff introduce yourselves, please?
Hi, my name is Haley Gallo. I'm the
Oh.
jail supervisor.
Okay. All right. And you are Nany Williams. Miss Williams, what is your DOC number?
281446.
Okay. And do you have a piece of paper where you waived the right for an attorney there, waived for your attorney and all of that business in front of you that you signed?
Yeah, but I don't have none, sir.
You don't have it in front of, we're gonna show it to you. We're gonna put it to you on the screen
Oh, okay.
and see if that is indeed your signature and did you sign that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, that's what we wanted to know. Okay.
What's
I
that?
got, we got it now. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have two people that will be speaking for you later on. But right now, I want to talk to you a little bit before Ms. Ledoux takes over the questioning. But you're charged with 2 violations while you're on parole. You can't be doing stuff because you sign these rules that you will abide by all these rules. And there's 2 of these rules that your parole officer says that you violated. One is rule number 4, in that you violated the law in that you were arrested for simple robbery and simple assault. How do you plead on that? Did you, first off, did you get arrested? Not if you're guilty or not, but did you get arrested?
A month later, yes, sir, I got arrested.
Okay. Now, did you commit the crimes that you were charged with?
No, sir.
Okay, you didn't commit or plead to anything, weren't found guilty?
Well, they to be honest with you, when I went to court, they did it pass without dated. Pass without dated when I went to court. My lawyer say they did it pass without dated, meaning they didn't give me no charge or nothing. If I do pass without dated for a year, okay. Meaning if I do this year without getting in no trouble, they was gonna drop the charge.
Okay.
And they told me, my lawyer told me I was gonna get released and stuff like that with no parole hold or anything like that, which I didn't know. You understand? Because I thought I was going home that day when they passed it without dated, because he said I was going home that day and they was going to lift my hold. So that's the reason why I took that and ran with it, because I wanted to go home because I had 7 months. I'm already down 7 months for something I didn't do. You understand? Yeah, I was there, sir, but I didn't do anything.
Okay. we'll get further into that, Ms. Ledoux will in a little bit. And the
Okay.
other rule that you're violating is you hadn't been keeping up with paying for your fees that you're responsible to the state of Louisiana for your parole fees. You hadn't paid any of those since you were put on parole, and you owe $8,210. Is that,
Okay.
are you guilty of owing that money?
Yeah, I am guilty of holding that money, sir. When I got out in 2012, I did what I had to do, getting jobs and everything. Okay, then when I stopped paying, that's because of the COVID. And when the COVID hit, they laid me off. I couldn't find any other job. After all this was going on, my health got bad. I had surgery on my legs. I had irregular heartbeat and everything with my heart. So I filed for my disability. I told my parole officer that because he used to come to my house every month. Every month he used to come to my house. Before I got picked up December 11, he came in November, and he was supposed to take my paperwork because I filed for my disability and everything of that nature and
Gotcha.
stuff. I couldn't work no more. My health got bad on me, sir. And I told him all these things. So he was going to take a copy of my disability paper and put that on file.
Okay, all right. So you're saying that you owe the money, but you have not been able to pay the money. So you're actually guilty of that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But what it was, when I was working, I was paying what I can pay. But when I stopped working during that time, it's nothing I could do. But I am guilty of it, sir.
Okay.
I couldn't
And
pay
so
no more. So I'm
there's
guilty
two
because I couldn't
people.
pay.
Okay, there's two people that want to say something for you. One
Yes,
is
sir.
Pretty Williams. Is Pretty on the? Where's Pretty? Are you on Zoom now?
Yes, sir. That's my daughter.
Okay, Pretty Williams.
Yeah, I'm on here.
Okay, are you? There you go.
Can you
Are
hear
you
me?
pretty? Are you pretty?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yes, how
Okay.
y'all doing?
Tell us what you want to say
Okay.
about your mom.
All right, I'm trying to on the department. I'm trying to find an area where y'all can hear me pretty well.
Okay.
I'm at
Okay,
work.
you gotta be still somewhere because you're killing us. We're getting dizzy.
All right. I'm trying to find an area. I'm at work. I apologize.
Trying to find an area.
Can you hear me now?
We'll come back to you in a minute. What about Nicole? Nicole here? Nicole? Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. And you're a friend of hers, and we'll come
Yes.
back pretty
Yes,
in a
sir.
few minutes. Nicole Jagno, if I'm saying that right.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. You're a friend of Nany Williams, and you want to say something about in support of her not being revoked. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I know Nancy did a lot of years in jail, and I've known her for the last 10 years. I truly believe that she has done a lot, like to change her life. She stays out of trouble, like she's doing good. I lost my son 2 years ago, and Miss Nancy has been one of my bigger support systems. And like she keeps me motivated. She keeps me spiritually, like, she prays for me. She's been there. And my son's anniversary of his death is coming up next week. And Nancy's always been there with me since then. So I just really feel like, as far as leading a good life, Nancy definitely does do that. And, I feel like considering where she's been before, she has definitely come a long way.
Okay. Thank you for that. Did Pretty ever get situated? Oh,
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear
okay.
me now?
We can hear you and we can see you, and it's not making us dizzy. Tell us what you want to tell us
Okay.
about your mom.
Okay, well, my mom went to prison when I was 8 years old the first time. So we did this 18-year bid with her, back and forth, going visit. and everything. I've worked in the prison system 5 years. I've worked at the sheriff department. Now I'm at the Department of Homeland Security. So I've seen both sides, and I can clearly say in the years my mom has been home, it's been a struggle because 18 years, you expect them to be institutionalized, but she was not. She came home, she got a job, but right now she's dealing with medical issues. And you fall. You know, some people fall, but you get back up. But I can clearly say, you know, for her, redemption was that's what it was. She never went back. She had some hiccups, you know what I mean? But she's never been back. Great mother. She's a great mother, great grandmother, and a great great grandmother, you know. And that's just me. Y'all don't know me personally, but if I didn't feel she needed to be out, I wouldn't have been here. You know, like I said, I've seen both the system. I know for a fact she made great, great, great strides. She's held down her own home, paying her own bills, but again, she's dealing with medical issues. And to be, you know, a convicted felon, hard to get a job, hard to start over. She's held down her own home. Her probation officer visits. He knows that. You know, family outings, we do that and try to keep her motivated because it's hard. I've never been in the system, so I don't know what it's like to be turned down for a job because of your criminal history. But she kept on. She kept striving to do it. She seek the black believe in being counseling, going to therapy. She seek that because she has a lot that she's dealing with. So just give her a chance. That's what I'm asking y'all. Look at her record. She's been home. She's held down her address, you know. So just give her a chance if y'all can.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. We appreciate your comments. Okay, your case has been assigned to Ms. Ledoux, who is going to continue the questions.
Miss Williams,
Yes,
you're aware
ma'am.
we have the video from the store. Are you aware that we have the video from the store
Yes,
during all?
ma'am.
Can you help me understand, because we don't have audio, but I see two ladies, one to be you, that came behind the counter of the store where the clerk is standing, and there's a lot of, looks like, animated conversation going on. So what was going on? Can you explain to me what happened that day?
Well, it was like really a misunderstanding. It wasn't no simple robbery. That it wasn't no simple robbery. Meaning, I'm saying that he said because we touched the door or we went behind. No, that wasn't no simple robbery. She told my daughter that we didn't pay for something in the store. So my daughter came back with the basket and asked her what we didn't pay for. But she was fussing with me more and saying this and that about we stealing and all the above. But I'm showing her I got the purse in my hand and I had a red book in my hand. I said, ma'am, you can search my purse. I'm not stealing. I don't have anything in my purse. And she kept antagonizing me, and my daughter said, my mama don't have nothing. So her and my daughter got into a heat of an argument. And that's how the door swung open. That wasn't no simple robbery. It was really and truly, it was a misunderstanding in that store. It was really a misunderstanding. It wasn't no simple robbery, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't no simple robbery.
I mean, it appeared to be a very hostile conversation.
Yeah, a little something like that, ma'am. Yeah, like a little. They got in the heat of an argument because she telling my daughter she didn't pay for something. My daughter said I came back in with the basket what I didn't pay for, and they got into a heat of an argument and stuff like that because she kept trying to antagonize me. And my daughter said, "My mama ain't got nothing to do with that. Leave my mama alone." So they kept fussing and fussing until it just got into a heat of an argument. And when my daughter touched the door to swing the door open and stuff like that, and but they charged me with a simple robbery. It wasn't no simple robbery, Miss Ledoux. It was really a heat of an argument that she said my daughter didn't pay for something. My daughter came back with the basket and asked her what I didn't pay for.
Okay. Um, Gentlemen, I would like to go into executive session.
A second.
Got a motion and a second to go into executive session.
I need to review something in the file.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It will be an executive session for just a moment. We're gonna look at some more paperwork and then we'll come back and continue our question.
Okay.
Need a motion, it's 11:09 in the morning, need a motion to come out of executive
So
session.
move.
Second.
Motion and a second to come out of executive session. And so there being no one to object, we're out of executive session and back into regular session. As I said before, it's 11:09. Ms. Ledoux, continue questioning.
Ms. Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
The court did not decide that you these charges.
Say that again, ma'am.
The court did not find you innocent of these charges.
Okay.
The court set it aside for a period of 1 year. So it's not the same thing as you not being guilty.
Yes, ma'am.
It's so they could have found you guilty, but they decided to set it aside for a year. Okay. I watched the video. I have reviewed all of the file, and my vote today is to revoke based on your violation of rule number 4 and 10.
Okay, we have one vote to revoke your parole, Mr. Tillis.
My vote is to do not revoke.
Okay, we have one vote to do not revoke, and it takes 2 out of 3. So the last vote will be mine, and my vote, I'm going to concur with Ms. Ledoux. I'm going to vote that you be revoked on your parole. That'll be the end of this hearing. It's 11:10.
And they revoked, and I don't know. I mean, she's already been locked up for 7 months, and I get that she didn't pay her dues, and yeah, it adds up real quick, like $8,000 since 2012. But again, this is this ain't Kansas. This is Louisiana, and some of these other states, at least from what I read, not only would you not get locked up, but you'd probably be handed like a trophy or something. But in Louisiana, they're like, no, you're gonna go in jail. And her attorney gave her what sounds like really bad advice, and we see this all the time. It is. We have been seeing it happen for as long as we've been able to gain access to these Louisiana hearings, and that's 5 years. And what I'm talking about is where someone who is on parole allegedly commits a crime, and their attorney tells them, take the deal from the DA and you'll go home. And the advice is so wrong that because the attorney never for 1 second even ran a Google search. They have no idea what they're talking about. Just look at the parole contract. You cannot be involved in criminal activity. The language is that vague. So taking any type of deal, when you agree to, oh, you won't charge me if I go a year without, what you are agreeing to at that moment is getting your parole revoked. And we have seen it over and over and over again. And it enrages me. It is like the laziness of these so-called attorneys that don't know anything about what they're talking about. And we have seen it hundreds of times, and we've seen it. It's so often the parole board brings it up. They say, these attorneys. I remember there's one hearing. These attorneys have to stop saying this. And I don't know. It's beyond me, and it's quite an interesting system. I'll bring to bring this up now. In other states, they have like Connecticut. So in Connecticut, the parole revocation process is much more sophisticated than this. Here, really, they just show up. It's like the parole board against, and in Connecticut, they view it differently. Everybody gets an attorney. And not just any attorney. They're impressive. Like they're passionate about what they do. Like really, I mean, if you've seen the parole revocation of the second channel, it's called Man Do Too. I know, very original. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Check the playlist, Connecticut revocation hearings, and they get there's a preliminary process, which you also have in Louisiana, the preliminary, but they don't show it to us. It's more of like it's like I think more of a so in Connecticut, you have the preliminary process where you have your attorney and it's the attorney versus the parole officer. And then you have like the mediator in the parole board that sits there. And so what it is straight off the bat, you have what I think is an unfair matchup. You have an attorney whose only job it is to protect their client versus parole officer that revoked their parole. That parole officer is probably underpaid, overworked, underappreciated, and didn't go to law school, right? So, and it works like a court case in Connecticut. There's technique we see in revocations, things will get thrown out if, for example, you had the video footage of her behind the store, but without audio. The attorney would bring it up and say, this is not acceptable. There's no audio. Or they'll say, it's not listed in the exhibit properly dated. And if it's, for example, listed in the exhibit with the wrong date, the mediator, the parole media, it's not even the parole board in Connecticut, will just simply throw it out. We have seen evidence where chomos are downloading CP, but it's not properly documented, and the attorney points it. And who documents it? The parole officer. And the parole officer, again, overworked, underpaid. They're wearing bulletproof vests and guns in Connecticut, probably in most states, if not all states, actually, right? They're chasing around their clients like you know, like people would chase around a bunch of kittens, and and now they're gonna have to get the forms right. And what happens in Connecticut is that because of that process, a lot of people don't get revoked. And or they get revoked, but on minor charges, not the long list of charges. Louisiana, they don't mess around. Now, I hear both sides of the argument. On one side, you can say, look, it's very expensive to lock people up. Do you really want to have somebody? You want to have someone properly represented. Who does it really? It doesn't benefit anybody. It really hurts if she really truly didn't break the law. Now she owed money on her, you know, but come on, like, does it really benefit anyone to put her back in prison? She's already served 7 months. It just doesn't feel, you know, it doesn't feel right. You know, she's been out. An attorney in this case, I think it would have been a pretty good case. An attorney could have had it been there. She's been out since 2012. You know, these are things that I don't know if this is true, but these are things that attorney. She's never had a dirty urine. She's hasn't gotten arrested. She's held a job for this and this and this. This is what we'll see in Connecticut happen. Yes, she owed her dues, but I mean, you know, it adds up. It's not even $1,000 a year over the course. She paid for this time. She paid for that time. She had a relationship with the parole officer. The parole officer that she had a great relationship with retired. She got a new one. There was COVID. There was this. You talk things out, and then you're saying, look, there is obviously a miscommunication, but she didn't rob anything. She's not, you know, doesn't have an addiction. She doesn't look at who she is. Like, you know, this is, and there are ways that you could have framed it where the parole board would have said, okay, yeah, I hear that. So, you know, we, you know, maybe they have details that we don't, but come on, I don't know. And I don't know how much time she's backing and when she'll get out again, but you would think a 7-month sanction. I mean, already being locked up for that long, that's what I understood it. But what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. And with that, I'll let you go.
Yeah, a little something like that, ma'am. Yeah, like, you know, a little, they got in a heat of an argument because she telling my daughter she didn't pay for something. My daughter said, I came back in with the basket. what I didn't pay for, and they got into a heat of an argument and stuff like that because she kept trying to antagonize me. And my daughter said, "My mama ain't got nothing to do with that. Leave my mama alone." So they kept fussing and fussing until it just got into a heat of an argument. And when my daughter touched the door to swing the door open and stuff like that, and but they charged me with a simple robbery. It wasn't no simple robbery, Miss Ledoux. It was really a heat of an argument that she said my daughter didn't pay for something. My daughter came back with a basket and asked her what I didn't pay for.